Hello, welcome to the Always Be Comedy podcast. Our guest today is, a true Always Be Comedy Hall of Famer. He's been with us pretty much from the jump. The great Tom Davis. Tim, someone that we love on stage and we love off stage.
Oh my God, absolutely. We've got a gig with him, which will have happened by the time this episode comes out. And I just always look forward to seeing him. He's great for a pre-gig chat. He's great for a post-gig chat as well. He is a complete delight. I like him a great deal.
He's a real pure soul, isn't he? He's so honest.
He is a pure soul, yeah. He's a lot of fun, and he's a brilliant comedian as well.
If I was a football manager and he was one of my players, he'd be one of my favourites because I'd always get to put an arm around his shoulder. You go out there today, slugger. You got a couple of goals in you. I know that for sure. Innately likeable. I mean, eye-wateringly successful with the BAFTAs, the hit shows to prove it. And with Spud Gun, I think it's his best show yet. We've seen a lot of Spud Gun. Very funny show. He says something interesting on this episode, actually, Tim, about finding his voice, and you sort of forget that a lot of comedians. I was intrigued to hear Tom say that he felt he found his voice better on this show than the previous show. I think with Tom, I've always found his voice. I find it interesting that some comedians still feel that they're still finding their voice even after 15 plus years.
Yeah, I found that interesting. I guess Underdog, the previous tour, that was his first one after coming back. He hadn't done stand-up for a while. So I guess I can sort of understand it. I thought personally, Underdog, he's nailed his voice immediately. But it is interesting how he said that, yeah.
If you loved Tom already, I promise you'll love him even more for this chat. By the way, we talk about a film called Hoppers. I'm not sponsored by Disney or Pixar or anything like that. I was supposed to mention it on our Friday, the Friday chat. I totally forgot because it's the funniest comedy I've seen in the cinema for ages. If you've got kids,
right,
I would urge you to go take them to see Hoppers. It's out now. Tom and I talk about it on the episode. As I say, this is not paid for. I'm not picking up a bottle of Huel or anything like that. I am authentically, mate. Tim, how jarring is it for you on podcasts where they will crowbar in a Huel mention or something?
Oh, yeah, I know. It's some people are better at sneaked in their adverts than others. I'll say that.
I mean, maybe. You know what, guys? If in a future episode Tim and I start talking about Huel, maybe
I'm open to it.
My heart sinks a little bit on some podcasts where it's like, oh, why are you pretending that this is part of the natural chat?
Yeah, absolutely. Well, that's what the guys want. That's what the Huel boys want.
Yeah, sorry, I've gone off on a real tangent on on Huel. Right, Tim. Now, there's not just Tom coming up at Always Be Comedy. Actually, it's not a great reference point because by the time this comes out, he's already played it. But in the coming weeks and months, the likes of Finn Taylor, Catherine Bohart, Nish Kumar, Ellis James, Felicity Ward, Red Richardson, Sunil Patel, many, many more. Please visit alwaysbecomedy.com/tickets. This episode comes out Tuesday the 10th of March. Both shows tonight are sold out. Finn Taylor's Work in Progress show tomorrow sold out. Tell you what, Thursday the 12th of March in Chelsea, Glenn Moore, Finn Taylor, Shalaka Kurup. There's still a couple left at the time of recording. Felicity Ward Work in Progress, Tuesday the 17th of March at the Tommy Field. And then Thursday the 19th of March in Chelsea, Felicity Ward, Maisie Adam, Red Richardson, Sunil Patel. Timo, there's lots of big old shows coming up.
Oh my God, so many. A lot of them you can't get tickets for at this stage. There's a lot of sold out shows on the board, which is lovely to see. But yes, plenty more to come. We've got, work in progresses from Maisie Adam. We've got work in progresses with Ian Sterling, Josh Berry, Joel Dommett. Joel Dommett just in a set. Ignore me. But Rhys James, Henry Packer. There's a lot going on. It's a very exciting time.
Yes, hopefully we'll see you at a show soon. Timo, we've just added a couple of Chelsea shows. that I would say seeing is believing. Check this. Thursday the 23rd of April, Finn Taylor, Josh Pugh, Fatia El Ghori. I mean, insane. Nish Kumar, Thursday the 30th of April, Nish Kumar, Sarah Pascoe, and a certain mystery guest who, without giving the game away, is also pally with both those acts.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah. It's worth taking a go.
Another Chelsea show here. Rhys James, Joe Thomas, Samira Banks, and a different mystery guest. Thursday the 16th of April. Anyway, sorry, I feel like I've been reading out shows for an hour. For these and many more, alwaysbecomedy.com/tickets. And then also, what we're here to chat about with Tom is his new show, Spud Gun. It's fantastic. If you visit Tom Davis's website, or if you Google Tom Davis Spud Gun, it is touring well into 2026. It's funny, Tim. One of my questions was going to be, is there going to be a tour extension? I think they've extended it because there's a lot of dates. So, as we say, coming to a town near you, please do Google Tom Davis Spud Gun, and it is a chance to see a unique comic talent, charisma, likability, funny bones, great gear. Tom is also an underrated improviser, ad-libber, in-the-room comedian as well.
Yeah, brilliant. I first came across him from Murder and Successful, which is a show that really celebrates improv. And yeah, that was a while ago now. So yeah, he's been on top of improvisation for a long time. He's great.
Tim, were you aware that he said that he couldn't really talk about a film that he's done with Aaron Taylor-Johnson, and then did proceed to talk about the film?
Yeah, that takes up a significant chunk of the episode. Yeah. We have some Aaron Taylor-Johnson chat.
I mustn't tell you about a film I've made. Tom, we love you enormously. Please don't ever become a spy.
Yeah, yeah, absolutely. Yeah, good.
I better not tell you where the missiles are hidden, but if you look under a bus stop in Whitkirk in Leeds, they're there. Here he is, the great Tom Davis. Tom Davis, God bless you. God bless you. Right, least we can do is a cursory bit of research. Is it true the previous tour sold 70,000 tickets?
Yeah, I believe so. Yeah, yeah, I believe it did.
Jesus.
Yeah, it's crazy. And now, gearing up for this new one, where you're like trying to emulate that.
What's the Tom Davis audience? How much is Wolf and Owl, League of Their Own, and King Gary, and so on?
I think it's a nice demographic as you go across the board. You sort of see a lot of couples, actually, a lot of sort of groups of male and female friends, families. King Gary brings a nice family crowd, and in the Wolf and Owl, sort of, it's a nice diverse crowd. Actually, it feels. I think people thought it would be more laddish than it is, and I don't think it's that, which is nice. And it's it's. I mean, it can be quite chatty sometimes, but that's a bit, yeah.
I bet it's chatty in a nice way, chatty that they're having a nice time and joining in, rather than oi.
No, there's not really much. You get the odd oi, but no, they'll sort of. The worst thing of it is when you're gigging and someone, you always be comedy so lovely for such a sort of beautiful audience, and you really get and like when you're trying stuff out and you feel like, oh, that's a rhythm of a joke or that's a rhythm of a story, and then you're doing it in a theatre and you let pause just for that second just to really like build the story, and then all of a sudden someone goes, do the Mick voice, and you're like, all right, now, so there's no breaths, so now I've got to rush through, and what was an hour and 10 minutes in almost big comedy is now 45 minutes.
Come on.
So it's but and you realise as well that there's a lot, and which is lovely. You get a lot of people who might not have been to see a lot of stand up before, and it's the first thing they might have gone to see. So people are excited, and I think it's a lovely thing. It's after sort of. I mean, I've known you for I think pretty much as long as I've done this, James. Really, and I
bet it's about 15 years.
Yeah, I sometimes fondly look back at, when you go through emails of people, and you were one of the only people I emailed who gave me.
Thank God.
And and always very sweet and always very like, always I think felt like you sort of got what I was about really more than some other people. I think some other people made a preconception of what they thought I might be as sort of coming from the background I did, and as an ex-scaffolder. I think people had this sort of idea of what they thought Tom Davis was. And I think you were always more of a fan of the more surreal or the more different. I always remember you being about the Charlie and Chocolate Factory stuff.
Seminal.
Which is one of my favourite things that ended up. I remember when I did Wonka and I told you, and you were like, "You can bring that bit back." It's such a nice thing.
It's just a perfect bit of stand-up. Now, the ex-scaffolder. Now, I don't want to pry, but you essentially live in the same house as Lord Snooty from the Beano. Mate, look at that behind you. I'm going to give it a round of applause.
Oh, this.
What's that? Is that an oil? Who's that a picture of?
It's one that my wife found.
That's sensational.
Like Matthew McConaughey that has that thing that he talks about, like who to be
Your
in
hero.
5 years.
Yeah,
that's who I want to be in 5 years. Just
we all want to be
chewing Hubba Bubba.
I unironically adore that Oscar speech.
Yeah, it's one of my favourite things ever.
It's one of my favourite things ever.
It just makes you really. I love him as an actor and as a man, but also he's just so fucking cool. It's a beauty. When someone's just got it all, you look at them and just think, and he just seems like a pretty decent chap.
Well, look, obviously you rub shoulders with the Hollywood elite. Maybe I think you probably are part of the Hollywood elite. Now, there are a few things I love more than you giving us some sort of movie update. You've been on set with someone. Are there any projects you're allowed to share that are coming to a cinema or a streaming service or what have you?
There's one on Netflix that's coming out later this year, which is a really fun film that I did with Sacha Baron Cohen and Rosamund Pike and Fiona Shaw, Charles Dance, which is coming out later, I think middle of the year. And then there's another couple of bits that I've done. Like that one's a bit of a bigger role, and there's another thing which I'm not really allowed to talk about. And then there's a couple of things where I've done sort of smaller roles, but then I it's a very weird thing because I just like experiences, and I sometimes you have to just think this is an incredible. I had no expectations when I started out this industry, or of certainly stuff that's happened and things I've done. So I think of things and it's just like, oh, that'll be a cool thing to do, and almost you have to take yourself back to thinking when you were first kicking off and you were first doing 5-10 minutes of open mic or whatever you were doing, James and Tim, you so that then you get offered a chance to do something that's a bit different. And although it's not, so sometimes it's just about the experience. And I've had I did this film in Latvia for which I can't talk about, but it's like the cast again is phenomenal. And I've got a very small part in it, but I was just hanging around and just thinking, wow, this is a pretty cool thing. This is like a 70s gangster movie with Aaron Taylor Johnson. It's quite cool.
So it's Aaron Taylor Johnson. There's another ridiculous hitter in it, isn't there?
Yeah, Benedict Cumberbatch.
Stop it! Stop it!
Yeah. So that was a pretty cool thing to do. Like things like that, and then you are like pinch me stuff. You're like, yeah. So I feel very blessed, and I like the acting. Genuinely wasn't anything I had any expectation of ever doing. I wanted to be a stand-up. That's all I really ever. And not even when I first started, like most people, I think generationally it wasn't something you looked at like I think people probably look at now more, and you talk about people who are up and coming and you watch and you can see a trajectory or you can see a career. I think when we were starting out, that wasn't really a thing. That was you do it because you wanted I'd done the same thing. I'd worked on sites. I'd had your job here or job there where I worked away, but for the most part, I'd sort of done the same thing. So I just wanted to go and do something different. And there was no like career plan. It was just like, it's quite a fun thing to stand on stage and make people laugh.
Were you hanging out with Benedict at all?
Yeah.
No, stop it.
Well, what's funny is because we've done two things we did two jobs back to back.
What, you and BC?
Yeah. So he's like such a nice guy, very funny, very just. I find most people are. You sort of. I think I know you both well enough. I don't really ever change. I'm what you see is what you get. I'm not rocking up with it. I just am what I am. I'll
I mean, the
turn
fact that
up.
we had to book this through your secretary, I mean, but sure.
That's my 4-year-old daughter.
Just for the record, this was done directly with Tom on email. Just want to make that absolutely clear. Just a bit of gentle humour. Now, Rosamund Pike, is she not one of the best actors ever?
Yeah, she's incredible. She's yeah, just as a person as well. Very, very funny. Very just amazing to be around. Like as well, I think anything when you're working creatively, you want to be around people that feel like they're you're pushing yourself and you're watching people do the. I think that's the same with stand up. I think with acting, and I've always been a fan of watching people do stand up. I think it's a really important thing to watch, to learn, to see where the expectation lies of what you could do. And I think acting's the same. So when you're around people like Rosamund or Benedict or Aaron Taylor Johnson, whoever you're around, you watch them. And I've been very fortunate over the years to work with a number of different people. And even, like I say, sometimes when you're doing quite a small role, I did a thing called Thousand Blows, but every day on set, you're just watching Stephen Graham and Erin Doherty and Malachi and these incredible drama actors, Danny Mays, and so you're just watching them, and even so you can look at it as being like, oh, I haven't got much to do today, or you look at it and just think, oh, okay, that's how the best people in the business are doing it, and weirdly you walk away from there, I think, being a better actor and a better, just I certainly then could take that to other stuff I've done subsequently.
To anyone listening that would like to give acting a go, given your, I'm going to use the word journey, how would you get started? You know, because we have a lot of comedians and aspiring comedians listening to this podcast, and I'll tell you what, I bet a few of them would think, God, I wouldn't mind giving it a go. So what happened with you?
I was relatively fortunate. I think I like I said, Lee Francis had seen me gig, and I often like through James DeFond, who's my long time like a collaborator, and so Lee had seen me gig. Lee, I was just doing stand up. I was doing like open mic, I think, at the time, and he had a tiny little part in something. He gave me a part in that, and then a couple of other things, and we went out, and this is sort of after Bo Selector, before Keith Lemon sort of times, and me and Lee would go out and we just shoot stuff together. We just like film like on like. Oh, it's really weird, like almost like a reality show as two sort of characters just walking about, and that became, and then I got seen by a few people doing things, and I did a thing with little bits with Coogan. Like I did the Coogan thing where I'm in the audience, and
That's right.
that was like one of the first things. And fortunately, no, and then something like Morgana Show where you're getting a little bit more, and I think the business has changed in the sense that I was very always and still am very happy about just getting work and going, okay, this is just oh wow, that's a cool thing. What I notice, is, and this is what I mean about how the business has changed, is all of a sudden people want to be the lead in something, and they you could see people want to be the first thing they do, they want to be the lead, and that's really, it's great to have that aspiration, but also then you kind of got to make it land. By the time Murder and Successful came round, I'd done so many little bits and other things. Number one, I built up a small following, but also I knew how to be on set. I knew how to conduct myself on set. I knew how to act, and someone who'd never trained or never even at school really. I found that I can do this. I had some more idea about how those wheels turned. So my advice would be is just get experience. I think look, it's such a weird thing because now phones and social media, you're able to just make sketches with your mate and stick them on YouTube. And you see now Saturday Night Live, and that's happening. And a lot of those people, like Al Nash, who's brilliant, and a lot of the cast on that have done stuff online, and now they're getting this big opportunity to go and do so. And I think that's the thing. And also being prepared to put sketches up that aren't going to do well, or not everyone's going to see, but keep doing it. And I think and auditioning. I audition quite a lot. I go up for stuff all the time now, and a lot of it I don't get. I get knockbacks, but I sort of have thought develop that as a skill. So if I'm going into something, I can get quite I prepare better and stuff. So yeah, I think it's, and also both know this because you're in it as much as I am, but you got like stand up or anything, you kind of got to be ready to fail and things not go your way, and that is the difference of. I say all the time. I remember when I started out this industry and I'd gig with people, and I look at the people around like yourself, James. That there was a very good generation of comics, very strong, and such a diverse group of different voices, so much so than the generation before and stuff. And now you see more and more amazing people coming through. But I think you have to get used to the fact that not everything's always going to go your way, and there's going to be a certain amount of failure. And I think knowing that failure is going to come your way isn't a bad thing. I think you've got to be ready
we
for
still
that.
remember Always Be Comedy Dulwich, so don't you worry about that. I still wake up in the night in a cold sweat. What roles have you said no to or got close to, and you've gone, motherfucker, you know?
A couple that I've got close to more recently, in a big Disney thing that looked like it was going to go my way and then didn't. And that's just your face didn't fit or just something didn't go your way. Quite a few that I've said no to. There's stuff that I've said no to that I just and I think sometimes it's a bit disingenuous to say the things specifically because people have gone on to do those roles and done it very well. There's a massive show that is like one of Britain's biggest shows that I said no to a part just because I didn't think I was right for it. I've said that a lot. If I read something and I think someone else would be better at this, or I just don't think I'm right for it. I'm quite my ego isn't that big. I've got to do this. I'm like I think there's a better person, and I just don't think I'm the right fit for that part. And I sort of take myself out of the running.
It's like when Colin Firth turned down Paddington. Absolute respect, genuinely, because he knew that he just knew that it wasn't quite clicking. You know,
I went up for. I mean, the two big ones. I went up for a part a couple of years ago, and I did like 4 auditions, and then I got. They were like, between Tom and someone else. It was, and then they went. My agent was trying to find out who the other person was, and then they were like, "Oh, what offers out for Colin Firth?" I was like, "Oh, fucking hell!" If Colin like the King's Speech versus Gary King, I was like, "Oh no, this is."
King's Speech is a better movie with you in it.
Also, it's a very different flavour. I had a call about a film in America. This is probably, it's a big movie coming out next year, and I get the script and I get really excited. It's a spin of a computer game, and oh wow, like this! I used to play that as a kid. I got really the part. So I do an audition. Then this guy in LA, they're like the casting director wants to speak to you. So he calls me. This guy, he's like, "Hey Tom, we just seen your tape. Great tape, man. Great tape." And I'm like, "Oh, Sam, yeah, great. Yeah, I love the script, love the film. Used to play the video game when I was a kid. Great, man, great." So we got an offer going in for Dave Bautista. Then we're going to go out to, and he starts reeling off about 8 or 9 names. And he goes like, "If we get no's and that's all the dead end with those guys, we might come back to you." So what a fucking insane call to like shoot you down by like, yeah. So yeah, it's a ride auditioning. But then you have a thing of like, I always think the ones that don't go your way are the funny stories.
Hang on, is that not? There is a realm there. I bet you've got a dad daughter family show / movie up the sleeve.
I'd love to do that. That's the dream, right? Just do like a family sort of. We've had a couple. Me and James have tried to do a couple, but then you're like, yeah. I think there'll be. I'd love to do more family. I've just done a show called Reluctant Vampire, which comes out later this year, and that's like very family friendly. The cast of that is it's like Joe Wilkinson, who is I know an Always Beef comedy friend of the show and friend of the venue, but I fanboy over Joe to a level of like I remember first seeing him and like a lot of people that you saw at that time, but weirdly never acted with it. I've done shows with him, but this is the first thing we've acted in together, and I just adore Joe. I just think he's just about one of the most true sort of spirits of a human being that you could ever wish to meet. He's just a lovely man, like lovely guy, and so talented, but so unaffected by just how talented he actually is. There's just not any. I've never met anyone. I say that I can think of a few people that we mutually know, but he just feels like he's so brilliant. but there's just no, he's just so relaxed with it. It just feels that he just sort of, like footballers, like when you get a silky winger who just feels like it's all so easy for, but then doesn't, just walks between the raindrops almost, and it's just sort of like the expectation of anything doesn't falter, and he just goes and does his thing. It's an
Walks
amazing
between the
sound.
raindrops. What a lovely turn. Joe, I love that. Joe, I mean, you've got it as well. He's got that magical thing. Hey, you can't teach it. Where the audience just wants to immediately be, and as I say, you as well. They want to be your best pal, and that's a special quality that you've both got.
Well, thank you, man. Thank you.
Now, Reluctant Vampire. If we're talking about comedy greats, I mean, can you explain to the listener? Some people might not be aware of this, what that is all about, and who wrote it, and so on. Because I mean, it's
So Eric
incredible.
Morecambe wrote these children's books, and the Gibbons brothers, who write for Partridge and Steve Coogan, and brilliant writers, have made them into 6.5 hours. And Lenny Rush, who I think again is one of the most talented people I've ever worked with. He's ridiculously talented. Like I think he'll go the whole way. He'll just be Hollywood beckons. And but then Sean Clifford, who's amazing, Asim Chowdhury, Charlie Cooper. It's a really stellar cast. It's incredible. But then and so I play the dad. I play his dad, Lenny's dad, which is sort of, I guess, in a sense, like the Morecambe type role, which is sort of comes with its own pressures, but fun. You're just like Eric Morecambe weirdly was one of the biggest. When we did Murder and Successful, my two references for playing Sleep was Eric Morecambe and Idris Elba. I was like, if those two came together, the sort of Calamity in the glasses with just a very dull voice, I could just some gravitas. So it was the two. That's my inspiration. That and Mike Reed when I come to acting.
Mike Reed. For any Luther fans, my wife and I used to love that show. Alice! First 2 seasons of Luther. Alice! When is that out then?
I'm not sure exactly. I think it's out later this year. I hope it'd be good around Halloween, wouldn't it? But I'm not sure. You're the last to know, and then all of a sudden you just got to do a load of publicity. But,
that is the amount of times I've messaged a mate. Oh, great news about the new show coming out on 21st September. And they're like, sorry, what?
Romesh did that with the job that I was talking about, the job of Aaron Taylor Johnson. He texted me and went, congrats on that film, mate. And I was like, what film? And somehow he found out before I had.
What, because Deadline have done a piece, or Variety or something?
My part wasn't that big, the Deadline. It was like, also starring Ian Davis. Can we get
What? Right, Aaron Taylor Johnson is one of those guys where I've watched loads of his stuff, but it was Bullet Train where I went,
he's amazing in Bullet Train.
He's incredible in that film, isn't he?
Yeah, but I was I fucking love Kick-Ass. But he's very he's method, so he's in character the whole time.
No,
so
he's
you're not getting anything out of him.
Are you serious?
He's like, you're getting very little. He's in character the whole time.
What's his role where he's staying in character?
He's a hitman in it, so he's
No, but because you want to come in, you want to be like, God, you see that Leeds game last night? I don't know what you're talking about. What is Leeds?
The only thing I can take away from it is I made him corpse twice, which I was
yes.
I love this. That's my favourite thing.
What made
my favourite thing I've done ever is make Coogan corpse, which was like when we was doing that scene where I'm in the audience.
You put your hand up.
Yeah, and because I adore Coogan's like one of my biggest heroes, and he called me about the part. He'd be like,
Coogan called you?
Yeah, it was like on a Saturday morning. I think I was going to the football, and I was sort of having breakfast with my wife at the time, and one wife now, but yeah. I think it was my second or third wife.
Still miss you, Shelley.
And he called and he was like, I've been watching your career and you're doing some great stuff. I've got this little thing I'd like you, would you? And I thought it was someone taking a piss because I was going to meet the lads, and then and he was like, I'll send over something, and they sent this script, and anyway, and then he was just like, let's mess around with it. So I just had that idea of doing a character a bit like that. So and I did the bit, and I think like I can't remember the voice, but it's like sort of that bully from school And as I'm talking, he's looking at me like that, and then he just starts corpsing. He starts really, his shoulders start going and it's him and the brilliant Robert Popper. And I just thought, oh wow, this is all right. Then I've done this. This is all you do. Then, yeah, it's a pretty amazing moment. I think it's the better. It's my favourite thing is making someone corpse. I think it's I adore it. It's just very gratifying.
What made ATJ crack up?
In the film, I just was doing some improvising, which I don't know if they'll leave in, but just about interbreeding, I think it was. There was another comedian, brilliant guy called James Ellis, and it was me and him in it together.
Right.
Yeah. It's his first acting role, James, and he's just nominated now for the Leicester Comedy of the Year. But yeah, he was shocked to be there, but we had quite a lot of fun when we were there.
Do you think Aaron Taylor Johnson will be Bond, or is that ship sailed?
I don't know. I'm still hoping to get the call myself, but I guess I'll find out if they need a Jaws in it. I'd love to imagine being a Bond villain. That would be manifest that stuff.
I'd love to be in a Bond movie, like even as an extra.
Yeah.
I think we're all Bond on our anoraks, aren't we? Really?
Or a big, just like a massive Q. I always think Ramesh would be a really good Q.
Yeah, I could see that.
Yeah.
He'd be a really good Q. He's got this. Ramesh giving it some sass and making Q just a bit more rom. I think would be one of my favourite things I could see.
The Desmond Llewellyn Sean Connery relationship was.
Yeah.
You know what? He had it with Roger as well. Yeah, Q would be a great role. So, what genuinely would you like to manifest as Jaws?
I'd love to do something like that. Yeah, that would be fun. But Jaws with a heart. Just see Jaws go home. Just go to his wife.
Well, he gets his happy ending, doesn't he? He gets happy ending. Is it Moonraker who gets the happy ending?
Yeah. From what I remember, I haven't watched that film for years. I need to see
Moonraker is pretty crap.
Yeah, it's not great. I actually think that those crap movies back then were almost better than the crap movies now, though.
They took bigger swings.
What's that?
They took bigger swings.
They certainly took bigger swings.
Yeah, you're right.
Putting JD in space.
There's a lot of risk aversion now, and I think I enjoyed movie. I just remember that sort of almost sort of like a melancholy sort of sitting there watching it with your grandparents on a Sunday afternoon, like after post tea, just sat there sort of like that early evening film and loving Moonraker. But I don't know I can't remember the last time I've watched it.
I just hope they crack on with this new Bond stuff.
Yeah.
The last one was an absolute disgrace. I think they should all be put on trial for that most recent one.
Well, the death at the end.
What are you doing?
Spoiler.
What are you doing there? As I walked out of the cinema with my wife, I was like punching walls. Wife holding me back. It's not worth it. It is. It is.
I was quite a few.
20 listeners. David Mitchell wrote a really. He penned all my personal anger and anguish over the choice there. But that's a brilliant read if you can dig it out. David Mitchell in the Guardian writing about the death of James Bond. Hang on, we better move on to the questions. But before we do, as your friend, to anyone who hasn't got a ticket yet to Spudgun, what can they expect? I would say this is classic Tom Davis.
Yeah, I think so. Yeah, and well, I'm with you on Sunday. There's a few things I'm like. I want to take a few more. Weirdly, I'm doing the show, I'm in the tour, but then I'm like, I want to push a few things a bit more. I want to try some more stuff. I think like elevation and trying to constantly elevate the show is good. But yeah, I think it's a better show than Underdog. I think it's grown. I think it's tighter. I think I think I've discovered my voice more with it, and I'm proud of it. It's very it's silly. It's an hour and 10 minutes of just fun. I think. That's what Tom Davis gives. That's what I would need to deliver, like fast food.
If you enjoy laughing a lot and having a great time, I would say get yourself a ticket.
Yeah, it's not going to change the world, but it might just make you forget about it for an hour and 10 minutes.
Oh, stick that on the poster.
Tom Davis, we're going to do the format bit now. So, who are your favourite acts to see in a green room?
Obviously Ramesh. Ramesh is the bond with Ramesh is such a tight one, but it's the one of my saddest stories of stand up was I was supporting Rom on tour for a little while, and I was doing like the sort of opening to support, and it was when I first came back to doing stand up, and the anxiety that I had, I used to sort of have a breakdown before every show, and it was like 3 or 4 shows at the Horth that we're doing, and Rom had to sit and counsel me, and like going, "It's going to be okay." And I was there as a support act, and probably the only respite he had from the way he could relax and think about his own shows when I was on fucking stage. But Rob, obviously, but you know what I love is I love being on tour, obviously, but I really one thing I've loved about coming back to stand up is just being around different voices and different people and seeing different. Fern Brady, I gigged quite a lot with in the summer, and I think Fern's like a generational talent. I think she's amazing, and I love Fern. I sort of I just enjoy being around comics, and this Catherine Ryan. I don't really see like I should see her more. She lives around the corner, but don't see enough of Catherine, and I've done stuff as long as I can remember since I've been in the business with Catherine, and it's one of my favourite acts, and love Catherine very much. Laura Smith, I love Laura. I love whenever I'm with you two. That's one of the things I love the most is ABC. I think not only with ABC are you always going to be, you're in for a great crowd. You two are always great for a chat and a gossip. One of my favourite highlights of any time I come to see you both. I get the
highlight of our lives.
I've had some great little gossips. When you're not there as well, James, with me and Tim will break bread and chat. Red Richardson. Red is I adore Red. Red's
These are all great choices.
I've known Red since he was about 17. I did a film years and years ago, one of my first ever jobs, and Red was the runner, and he was a driver for me. So he used to pick me up every day and take me to set, and we'd sit, and we're such comedy nerds, and I'd just done a Morgana show, and he was really into the banker, and we just hang out and talk, and that relationship's still very, very much like that. We chat constantly, and he's a close friend, and I know we've got a question coming up, but about it. So Red is just someone I love. Jack Skipper, and then there's people that you sort of Brister, Jim Brister. Yeah, so I like to think I get on with most people you gig, and I think that's the thing that I sort of I really when I first got into it, I think comedy at one point when I don't know if you ever felt like it, James. When you're first coming up, I felt like sometimes you go into sort of a green room before a show with these old hitters, and you really had to prove yourself before they sort of include you in the room. You'd almost sort of be sitting on. It didn't ever feel like there was an arm around you, and it felt particularly sort of supportive at times. And actually, I think that's what I mean about generationally. I think there's some amazing comics and great voices, but actually, I think that most people pride themselves on if there's a new act in a room. I always judge someone on set of how they are with runners, and I always sort of judge, how you're treating the open spot or the person who's just, are you giving them advice? Are you there for? I remember like doing a comedy competition. I think it was a Muse Moose, and having a stinker, like an awful gig. Like it was so bad. That it was almost like I had a contagious disease in the green room as I came. No one wanted to be anywhere near me. And I can. There's 2 people there who's still comics going, who are so sort of, and I won't name them because that's not very nice, but they were so almost happy that like someone else had that stink on them, but they were and so sort of I remember the heart, and I didn't feel that there was any of that sort of, oh look mate, that's just what happens, and next time it's going to be okay. And because that's, I think so many people get lost along the way. You have 2 or 3 bad gigs, and I probably had 10 or 15 in a row, but I was sort of quite doggy just to continue at that point. But I think you can see people give up.
And it's mad that Widdicombe and Beckett went on to do Parenting How together.
Beckett said my favourite ever thing to me. Beckett, and I adore Rob, and Rob's given me so much advice on this tour. But Beckett said, I was trying at one point to do characters on stage, And I went up and I did a redneck character, and it died so bad. It was awful. It was fucking terrible. And I knew Beckett pretty well, but I came off stage and I stood next to Beckett. And you know how funny Rob is. Rob went, Tom, you've got something, but it definitely isn't that. And we were probably only both been going for a couple of years. Yeah. So, yeah.
You know what? God bless him. God bless him for saying
No,
that.
and he was right. And also, you have to take, I even at the time, I was like, no, he's right. That isn't what the thing is.
That's so funny.
But Beckett's another one. I love Rob. Tom
Brilliant.
Ward as well. Tom Ward is someone well, again, we'll get onto people that, but I loved hanging out with. Me and Tom did sort of some out of town gigs, and he's just someone. If I see Tom Ward's on a bill, I kind of buzz just because I fucking love him as an act. I think he's one of the best stand-ups in the country. I just think he's incredible, Tom. But also, I just adore him as a bloke. I just love hanging out with him. I just love his chat, and I just love the fact he's just a lot of fun to be around. We did a charity gig last year together for Daft Laughs, and he was me and Tom just spent the whole time hanging out, and it was he's just a joy. I think he's inventive and he's brilliant, and he's just one of those people who's just got a great voice. And when you watch someone like Tom Ward, I just think everyone should just go and watch. He's just a brilliant act, and I just love the guy.
Brilliant. Okay, so who is the best new act you've seen recently?
It's hard though, new act, isn't it? It's where you're like, because there's such difference. Like people coming up that who aren't new acts, who are just people that I just find really inspiring. I just think are like incredibly just it's not by any means a new act, but like Joanne McNally, you watch and just think, wow, like you're just a phenomenon. And like I say, Red, who I just but these are people who've been going for years and years. When you see new acts, is that you see someone. There was a woman, it's terrible, who I can't remember her name, but she was at ABC recently when I gigged with her. It's awful, I can't remember her name. And she did a set, and it was really like you were there, Tim. It was really edgy, and she was really pushing it, and it was I can't remember. A lot of it was about immigration, but she was really, really funny, and she was really brave with her choices.
Samira Banks.
Yeah, and afterwards, she was really downhearted about. She didn't think. I thought it was one of the bravest, and that's what we're all trying to do, right? Trying to be brave, and she came off. I'm pretty sure it's Samira Banks. It'd be disingenuous, but she came off and she was a bit down about it, and I thought she'd crushed it. I thought she'd smashed it, but she was, and I was just like, but she had such an honesty about what she was talking about that I was like inspired by that.
Great choice. She plays the night a lot. She was with us last night. She always delivers.
And she's just and I think anyone who's prepared to take a risk and just try to be different, and also I think stand up is what everyone's trying is to be honest. And I think the reason I fell off the track for quite a while is I went from being who I think I am, and now I think that's very much what you see. But I started trying to be someone else. I tried my act it wasn't what it is now, and I think that became a different me. So I think you had to try and be as earnest and as honest as you possibly can.
That's great. Samira was on yesterday, and like she is doing some like bold, punchy stuff.
Yeah,
I was thinking that last night, but like she really pulls off. It's very impressive.
Yeah, I think she's incredible.
Yeah. Who is your favorite comedian who does not do it anymore?
I mean, Lee Evans would be the guy that I just it breaks my heart every day.
That's a great answer.
Yeah.
But I'm right in saying that this dude is happy in retirement. It's not
he is. Yeah, but he brought so much joy and I just think he was just always I think I went to see him so many times as a fan. It's hard because there was people I used to watch when I was coming up who were so so brilliant, and you just and then would just drop off and stop and I do think there's an element of stand up and comedy and acting and whatever you're doing, and certain amount of it. I remember when Matt Berry won the BAFTA, and he was like, "If you stay around long enough, so you'll get your flowers," type thing.
Yeah.
And I do think there's an element of just being sort of grafting. You have to keep. It's like anything you do, and I think there was people I remember doing open mic spots with and being like, "Wow, they're just fucking amazing." And even when you're first coming out, like you're just blown away like by people. You know what? Actually, the person I don't know if they've stopped forever, but someone I just used to love watching was Hess. I used to love Adam Hess. Again, I just loved his energy as a person.
Yeah.
I don't see him on. I don't know if he stopped, but I just don't see him around doing stuff. And he again was just someone that I fucking loved Adam Hess. I just really just like again you know. Again, me and you text a lot about football, James, and everything's a football knowledge. But you know, like with the floor is sometimes low for a player, but the ceiling is so high. And with Hess, when you used to watch Hess Roof of Room, you'd be like, fuck. And I love someone who comes on stage and they've just got their own, they've got their integrity intact, and this is who I am, and this is what I'm going to do. And yeah, I think the stand-up scene is certainly a sadder place without Adam Hess on it. I think he's just a very deaf joke writer and a great guy.
Yeah, great pick.
Yeah, he is still writing for other people.
Yeah, I need to get on that, Tim. You did tell me I should call him, which I should actually text him.
Yeah. Well, you know what? On a similar note, what is a joke or a bit that you've retired that you miss doing?
A few bits from the last tour. I think like the Fury joke. I think like sort of the boxer stance thing.
I think about that a lot. I think about that a lot. We had Flo and Joan yesterday, who obviously play piano, and that made me think of you a bit.
Yeah, it's I think that the Charlie and the Chocolate Factory stuff I think was and that was such a journey because that got lost, and then I did Wonka, and I was at ABC, and you said to me, Jack, I was doing a whole show which was a closer, like the encore of the tour show. And you're like, you need to bring back the Chalamet bit, the Charlie Chocolate Factory bit, which just made everything more rounded. So
it was like the Eagles bringing back Hotel California.
Yeah. So there's stuff that you, but then I think you could always bring it out for sort of little charity nights and stuff. But it's sad when you do the tour for the last time and that's the last, and that's what I guess with this one. But also, I think there's a bit I had in the last tour about cardboard coffins where I tried it, and it just wasn't working. And I was just ready to bin it, and it wasn't gonna. I was like, this isn't going anywhere, and I couldn't work out why. And then I just added one little line, and that night I was doing Colchester Arts Centre, and I just threw it in a work in progress. I just threw this extra line in, and it just smashed it. And you're like, oh shit, that's the thing that. So when you go on a journey with something that you think, oh, this is such a fun idea, but it's not quite. And there's always a thing that I always think with stand up you've got, and it's like, oh, that comes out almost perfect for the first time, and you then never work on it too much because you just think it, and then you have bits that you're really grafting at, and to try and get it to a place it could be in a tour, and then when you get to that place, you realise how the stuff that came out really easy at first is not up to the standard of the things that you've had to work on, and it is all graft. So that would be my answer there, Tim.
Lovely stuff. And then, in a similar vein, is there a peer's joke or bit that you wish you had written?
Well, I'm gonna actually, and this isn't just because he's here, but Mr. James Gill would be. There's a bit I really struggled in the last tour. I had some jokes about Andrew Tate, and I just couldn't really get anything that just felt funny because I always think like whatever your point you're making, you have to say something funny, and it has to be funny. And if there's a sort of it's a deep line thing there, or something you're trying to say that has relevance to where we stand, but it has to be funny and it has to be a joke because that's why people are there. And if it's not funny, and if it is just like an aim pot shot at someone, and it hasn't got any sort of humour behind it, then that's not the business I'm in. It has to be funny. And I'd really struggle to find a really funny bit that would really nail it. And James, I was at ABC, and James Gill, you did a bit about sitting on a plane watching an Andrew Tate video, like documentary. And I won't give the whole bit away, but I genuinely sat there and I laughed. So, you know, when you you stop being, and I think James is one of the best. I think you're just naturally, again, just one of the funniest people that I know. And I think most people would say unanimously, you've always shown a lot of belief in comics and peers, and you've given people a chance, and you're a good man manager. But when I watched you do that bit, I was just like, oh, fucking hell, that's so good. There was a part of me that just thought it's such a neat, beautiful bit of stand-up. It was so fucking brilliant. But also, I was like, oh, God. Oh, mate, that would have been the killer. That would have been the thing to put in. So that was the thing where I was just in, yeah. And do you know what? It just made me go, that's, yeah. It's just I actually genuinely think the physicality of it, the point of what you're trying to say, but also the misconception. I just think it had every layer of what I want from a joke and from a routine, and it was, yeah, I think it's fucking brilliant.
Oh, well, thanks, Tom. Thank you.
I mean, mate, more than deserved. Yeah, that was a bit when I was kicking myself. I think I turned to Tim going, "Oh, fucking hell, that's so good. That's so good. Why couldn't you have done that?" And I've got to fucking give him $1,000 and brought it off a year ago.
Fucking hell. I'd have ripped your arm off.
Next question. What is the weirdest way you've made money to supplement comedy?
Well, I mean, I was working on sites still when I first started out. I was still scaffolding. I was still labouring. I was still like doing, getting up at sort of 6 in the morning, going and doing a full day on site, and then doing evenings, gigging 4 or 5 times a week, doing your open mic and whatever else. I sold T-shirts at festivals for a long time. A lot of those T-shirts with funny slogans, and in the end, we just settled on a T-shirt that just said "cunt," and you can bleep that out if you want. But that ended up being the thing that actually basically just. I remember my first Edinburgh was paid through pretty much just T-shirts that said "cunt." I basically was able to. We sold so many this year at Glastonbury. I could go to Edinburgh, and we know how expensive Edinburgh is. I could supplement Edinburgh just because, yeah. So that was probably it. And did some weird have you ever been in one of those? What are they called? Secret cinemas.
Mm.
Oh yeah.
I did like a secret cinema thing as Ron Burgundy, and it was the most. Well, I had to be like Ron Burgundy for people turning up, and it was the most soul destroying. It was the most soul destroying thing of people turning up and you're acting like you're dressed like Ron Burgundy, and it was loads of proper like thespians who had afterwards going, "Sorry, I really didn't nail brick today. I wasn't feeling brick today," and I was like, "Oh man, is this what?" I remember really I remember doing a gig, and it was for a whiskey brand. And they gave you like a bottle of whiskey at the end of every day. We were traveling around on like a little tour thing, doing these gigs, and they would pay quite well. And at the time, I was really on my arse, and me and my missus were in a bit of a sort of financial disarray. But I remember just feeling like these are just crushing. They're just like, and I'd done some TV bits, so people would go, and it was like people would go, "Oh, well, what are you doing this now for?" And I remember really like finishing one and going back to my hotel room, like a Holiday Inn, and Stephen Gately had just died, and they had like I don't remember, I think BBC or someone did like a documentary about Stephen Gately. So he hadn't just died; he died of what? And I remember just sitting with a bottle of whiskey and just sobbing, watching this Gately documentary, and just feeling so fucking sad because I love Boyzone, but also just I was just like, "Oh, this is it now, is it? Like this is what it's going to be." Just, I'll be Chewbacca at the next secret cinema. I'll be running to see my face. I can't even do a good Chewbacca.
Now, when you described the Ron Burgundy thing, Tim, your face was a picture. So what happens? So people would turn up for the secret cinema anchorman, and what you have to? Are you interacting with them as they come in?
I'm interacting with them. Yeah, it's like immersive situation where I'm Ron Burgundy. People are getting pictures and I'm doing it wrong. I mean, I'm not going to do it. I can't remember how to go, and I had to do some of his catchphrases. And everyone was like, "Oh, Will Ferrell's coming to one of these." I was like, "Oh God, don't make this the way that I meet Will Ferrell."
Did you meet Will Ferrell?
No, I didn't. I think.
Okay, thank God.
You had to strangle him to death just so he didn't see it.
Yeah.
I bet a lot of listeners don't realise the things that we all have to do sometimes.
Yeah. But I think the thing is, it's like, I mean, I think the biggest thing was just, and also it was going and scaffolding all day and labouring and people, and then going, "Oh, what are you doing tonight?" And going, "Oh, I've got a gig. I'm doing like 5 minutes open mic in Covent Garden." Fucking, why are you bothering with that shit? You're not even funny. Like, you're sort of, that was a bit where you're sort of, and I remember a couple of them coming to see me. And God, I forgot about it. I was doing a thing. I was doing an open spot on a mixed bill, and Paul Foot was headlining, and 6 of my scaffolder mates came to watch. And I love Paul Foot, but one of the funniest things ever is watching 6 blokes fucked on Stella, probably coke, just sitting there trying to fucking, what's he going on about, watching Paul Foot? Fucking hell, that fella on.
Superb.
A final question. The best advice is perhaps from another comedian or something you've learned along the way that you'd like to share.
I think sticking with it is you know what, flow gave, like when I first was like really deliberating whether to come back or not and do stand up, because I'd really lost my voice, I'd lost a lot of confidence, and I didn't really I never anticipated coming back. And Flo and Ramesh were like,
now for the listener, Flo is an agent.
Yeah,
she's to comedy agency what Pep Guardiola is to football.
She's incredible.
She's an Arsenal fan. She'd prefer me to say Wenger, but I believe in the Guardiola.
I agree. Yeah. I agree. And she was very instrumental and along with Rom. But like when I was really questioning what it was I was doing again, and she said, "You just need to be yourself. Imagine you're in the pub talking to mates, and that's what that's what you're going to do best." And I had a weird thing with Curb where they'd watch me quite a bit when I was first coming out, and I love a great relationship with Flo and Danny and everyone really there, Joe and all the team. They were just always very lovely to me whenever I'd see them at something. But Flo along the way, but probably actually the best bit of advice Flo ever gave. So I'm obsessed with golf. I'm a very bad golfer, and there was a pro-am in Scotland with a lot of big footballers, a lot of people playing, right? And I got asked to play in this pro-am just outside Glasgow. But the night before, I had a preview in Brighton, and I was like, "Flo, do you think we could pull the preview and do it another day? Because I've got this big pro-am in Scotland on the sort of next morning." And she said, "Oh, I'm fucking sorry, Tom. Where's you want to be? A stand-up comedian or a professional fucking golfer? You're doing the gig. Sort your life out." And that was probably the moment I was like, "Oh, actually, yeah, this is." I still went to the pro-am. I just got a flight at like 5:30 in the morning the next day. But
that might be the best Flo story I've ever heard.
Yeah. So Flo,
that is perfect.
But I think
I'm sorry. What is it you want to be?
Fucking comedian.
Thing is, she's absolutely right.
She's so right.
Do you want to be a stand-up comedian or do you want to be Rory McIlroy? Sorry, yeah, you're right.
Yeah.
Flo, that's so good.
But I think and I do think the thing is, it's stick with, and you know what? It's I'm very fortunate, doing stand up from all of it. I just think it's enjoying it. I saw Acaster actually talking recently, and this is no advice he gave me, but I was watching James Acaster on a podcast, and just before you go on, I used to sort of like, if I was doing ABC of an evening, and this is going back 10 years, I wouldn't eat all day. I'd be like so anxious. Even if I was just coming to you to do like 20 minutes or 15, I'd pull so many gigs because the anxiety and the worry, the fear of not being good or just being, I just completely questioned everything, and I'd just be in a ball of anxiety. And I sort of, even on the last tour, I get so a ball of nerves that when I came out, and I'd come out, and actually I sort of kind of let that go a little bit. And I was watching Acast, who I love James, and I think he's again one of the best acts going. And I watched James saying about it's just a gig kind of thing. It's you can put too much pressure on it, and it is going to be what it's going to be, and it's and even if it doesn't go right, sitting here, chatting about the stories of it going wrong, and the stories that I come in and me, you, and Tim have long chats, and when things haven't gone your way, or they're the stories that are funny. They're the stories that are, they're the stories that stick with you, and I think that not getting disheartened and sticking with something, and I think it's not sticking with it due to a monetary fact. I think it was sticking to it because it genuinely for me is the truest art form. And I've said this to actors and musicians, and I believe it's the hardest thing to do, stand up, like out of anything. I think to do it well, I think it is so difficult. But also I think there's nothing quite like it when you rip a room and you feel like, everyone there has enjoyed an experience that has just been fun, and there's just been so much laughter. And I've had a lot of those special memories with you boys, like doing those work in progresses on both of these tours is every part of that, and some of them, I look at and just think they're the things that hopefully people go, they walk away going, oh yeah, that was just a fun way to spend an hour. And that's, I think, so, and it kind of makes me sad to think there's a chance I'd never do that again, and that was how it was going to be. And so yeah, that advice and sticking with something because you just love it rather than anything else is and it's fucking amazing. It's the best job.
Listener, so stick with whatever you're doing, and you might end up living in a house like Lord Snooty as well. I fall in love with Tom's house. Tom, thank you very much. All gags aside, sincerely, that was fantastic. So funny. We love you very much. And I'll be WhatsApping you in about 3 minutes.
Cool. I shall see you both on Sunday.
See you, Tom.
See you, dude. God bless you.
Right, big love.
Cheers, Tom. That was great. Thank you. So funny. Cheers, buddy.
Thank you, guys. Thank you. It was a lot of fun.
Big thanks to Tom Davis. Tim really kept our energy up thanks to Hugh. No, it's not even going there. Tom Davis, Tim, what did we learn from the chat with Tom Davis?
Oh, man. Yeah, interesting. I think I just really enjoyed the chatter about, this. I'm very easy to get in with. Just tell me the celebrities and the actors you work with, and that really did it for me. So yeah, the stuff with Aaron Taylor Johnson, I just loved all that.
Do you know what? What I learned is that Tom Davis is definitely show don't tell, because, and I think if I'd made a film if I'd been working with the likes of Rosamund Pike and Benedict Cumberbatch, I'm pretty sure I'd be walking up and down my street, knocking on people's doors to tell them.
Yeah.
And the fact that we've really had to coax that out of him, and we are, dare I say it, we're good mates with Tom. And the fact that that's how we found out is a measure of the man, really.
Oh, absolutely, yeah, very much so. Yeah. A wonderful man, Tom Davis.
Yeah, he is. I mean, I'll be honest with you, while we were talking, I was thinking, God, I really hope this Spud Gun tour hurries up so that Tom will come back to doing gigs at Always Be Comedy to work up. In the way that we have it with like Michelle de Swart and Mike Wozniak, and John Kearns, when they go on tour, we're like, oh, we won't see them for a few months.
Yeah, absolutely. Well, I hate to say it, but the latest date so far, 13th of February, 2027 in Salford. So it might be a while till he's doing a new whip. But yeah,
I saw that. And do you know what? I saw that and I could have wept. But then I was trying to cheer myself up because there is a bit of a pause before the September date. So maybe Tom needs to get a Spud Gun run-through booked in end of August, start of September.
Would not rule it out.
Let's not rule it out. A very special dude and a good friend. Tim, thank you as always. Thank you to our listeners. God bless you all. Thanks for all the shares and so on. Tim, we've got to say, the Stuart Lee episode, in fact, the recent Wozniak redo, they both, both did very well. I suppose what I'm getting at in a roundabout way is, if you don't follow us on YouTube, it's worth a follow, because the Stu episode has soared past 10,000 views on YouTube alone, which is good going.
You know what? Actually, good point. Yes, even if you're not going to watch these, subscribe to our YouTube channel because it helps. So can we say that?
It does help, actually, yeah. And I've reminded myself, Tim, I need to put up the Harry Hill video with Gary wanting to do a set at Always Be Comedy.
Yeah, lovely. Yeah, very nice. Yeah, there's plenty of stuff on there.
Look, big thanks. We'll see you at a show soon. Lots of love. Bye, 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 bye.